Chapter 33. What Lies Beneath. Over the ensuing weeks, both Inanna and Ares found a steady rhythm in Eden. Each dawn saw them rise early from their separate quarters and take breakfast in the communal hall. Ares kept the artifact close at hand, never daring to leave it behind. From there, the two would delve into the great library, spending countless hours poring over texts that spanned centuries. Late each afternoon, they carved out a sliver of time for brief recreation. Ares rode, ran, or climbed, while Inanna practiced archery, a new skill she'd grown to enjoy. By nightfall, they dined together again in the hall before returning to the archives for another session of reading. Their days concluded with much-needed rest. During that time, they grew to understand each other's stories. Inanna's ordeal in the north, Ares' battles in Cairo, and the burdens each carried to Eden. Yet neither of them spoke much of their private sorrows or regrets. The weight of their shared mission held them together and kept their focus forward. One evening, they sat beneath the star-flecked sky. They would both be silent for hours, immersed in their respective readings, when Ares paused to lift his gaze. Amid the shimmering constellations, he recognized a particularly bright star that always pulled at his memory. Lyra's star, far from any cluster, burning brightly in the night stillness. His heart clenched with familiar, bitter-sweet longing. Before she passed, Lyra would hold Ares and say these words to him. "I love you. I will always love you. I will love you until my heart stops beating and until my last breath. And I hope that my soul will find you wherever we go next." It was a vow he carried everywhere. Much of his grief had mellowed over time, shaped by lessons from his father and the perspective he'd gained while travelling. He had realised over the last few weeks that Lyra's memory wouldn't forbid a future happiness. "Are you okay, Ares?" Inanna asked softly, following his gaze to the night sky. He exhaled, nodding slowly. "Yes, actually, for the first time in a long time, I think I am." "You were thinking about her?" she ventured in a gentle tone. He glanced at the distant star. "I was. I've come to see it as Lyra's star." A fond smile touched his lips tenderly, though laced with sadness. "You were lucky," Inanna observed. "Some people never meet a true soulmate." His smile lingered. "I was lucky?" Inanna hesitated, shifting her weight. "I haven't thought about Dumuzi since I left Sumer. Even during all those lonely weeks in the tower, I worried about everyone else except him. I'm glad I never married someone I cared so little for." Quiet settled, and Ares finally mustered the courage to speak what had been on his mind. "Inanna, I need to say this. I've grown very fond of you. Our time here in Eden has meant more to me than you realize. I care about you deeply." A faint warmth spread over her cheeks, hidden by the evening's dim light. "We've spent countless hours alone together, Ares. Perhaps fondness was inevitable," she said, though her tone carried genuine warmth. He looked at her earnestly. "I had reservations, yet I needed you to know." A small flush crossed her features. "You're sweet, Ares," she murmured. "It is getting late. We should finish up for the evening." In that still, star-filled moment, they found a mutual understanding. Two souls, shaped by loss and burdened by duty, discovering that perhaps they didn't have to face the shadows alone. "I look forward to seeing you tomorrow," Inanna says as she collects her texts. "As do I. Sleep well," Ares replies. Morning arrived, finding Inanna already awake and watching dawn break over Eden's mountain ridges. A smile lit her face as she contemplated last night's conversation with Ares. A gentle warmth stirred within, one she hadn't felt in a very long time. In the mirror, she observed the bright expression she wore, realizing she couldn't remember the last time she looked forward to a new day. Ares reached the dining hall first, securing a table and waving her over as she entered. Before either could speak, Thoth appeared behind them. His presence was abrupt and tense. "Both of you, come with me. Now," he said in a low voice, casting a wary glance at the crowded hall. Exchanging a swift, apprehensive look, Inanna and Ares followed him into a back room. "What is it, Elder Thoth?" Ares asked, a note of concern edging into his words. Thoth shut the door firmly. There was a subdued urgency in his voice. "Tonight, I need to show you something that other elders have concealed from you both. It's crucial that you understand they don't want this information reaching you." Inanna's brow creased in confusion. "Why would they hide anything from us?" "The elders fear what you may uncover. They plan to have you both killed," Thoth said quietly, eyes flicking between them. "This brotherhood isn't evil. Most of its members have no idea how much power it holds. At midnight, meet me in the old archives. Be armed and ready. I'm afraid blood will be spilled before this is over." Ares frowned. He remained unsettled. "Why risk telling us? If they suspect you, won't you be in danger as well?" Thoth shook his head. Sadness underscored his resolve. "I'm old, 96. I've lived my life. My conscience would never forgive me if I stood by and watched them snuff out the world's best chance at surviving the next cataclysm." He paused. His voice trembled at the edges. "Come to the old archives tonight, and I will show you what truly lies beneath Eden." Ares' gaze darkened with a conflict of fear and determination. "If this proves a trap—" "You have my permission to strike me down," Thoth interrupted. His tone was hoarse with emotion. "That is how serious I am. Now I must go. Tell no one." Thoth departed. His robes whispered along the floor. Inanna and Ares stood silent. "Do you trust him?" she asked, searching Ares' expression. Ares exhaled slowly. "Thoth was once my teacher. He's always been earnest, committed to preserving knowledge above all else. I believe he's genuine." Inanna nodded. "He seemed truly worried, enough that I think we should hear what information he has to say." Ares laid a hand on his sword's hilt. "Then I'm going tonight. You're free to decide for yourself." A flicker of determination crossed her eyes. "I'll join you. I came here for answers, not dead ends. If Thoth can help, that's worth the risk." The rest of the day passed in an unspoken tension. Instead of immersing themselves in scrolls, Ares and Inanna used every spare moment to prepare. Ares fastened his long sword and dagger, stuffing essential gear into his rucksack. The artifact was carefully protected inside. Inanna readied her bow and quiver of arrows, performing a final archery session to sharpen her aim. At last, midnight arrived. Shadows loomed across Eden's typically serene walkways as Inanna and Ares slipped from their quarters, evading any wandering night owls among the Brotherhood. Together, they reached the library's darkened corridors. Its tall shelves stood ominous in the torchlight as they tiptoed to the old archives door. "Is this door ever left unlocked?" Inanna whispered. "Usually it's sealed, if Thoth's telling the truth." Ares gently tested the handle. To his relief, it gave way without resistance. They stepped inside, gliding through narrow aisles until the dim glow of a distant lantern drew them deeper. Around a final bend, Thoth waited with a solitary torch. His expression was grave. Wordless, he lit 2 more torches from his own and passed them to Ares and Inanna. "What exactly is behind these walls?" Ares asked. Thoth remained silent. He dragged a desk aside, exposing a small hidden lever built into the wall. "Everything they wish to hide from you," Thoth murmured. He pressed the lever, revealing a discreet panel behind the shelves. A dark and foreboding hidden passage yawned open. Before they could remark, Thoth found a second lever deeper in the recess. Another section of stone slid away with a muffled groan, disclosing a second concealed entry. Ares exhaled sharply. 2 secret doors. The Brotherhoods had a lot to hide. Thoth nodded grimly. "You are about to learn it all. Follow me." They moved into the dim passage. The narrow walls soon opened into a wide, torchlit stairwell that spiraled downward, far beneath Eden's temple floors. At its base spread a grand subterranean hall that vanished into branching corridors. Some seemed to stretch out indefinitely. Ares and Inanna halted in awe. The flickering torchlight danced over ancient stone pillars and vaulted ceilings. Layers of halls and tunnels receded into the darkness. The secret domain of the Brotherhood, hidden since time immemorial, lay sprawling before them. "Incredible," Inanna breathed, struggling to find words. Thoth's voice echoed softly between the pillars. "This is but the beginning. Come, our time is short." With the urgent prompting, the 3 descended farther. Their torches bobbed like fireflies in an endless night. Whatever truths lay ahead, Ares and Inanna felt each step thrumming with both dread and hope. At last they would learn what truly lurked beneath Eden's tranquil facade,